more section. So 4.1, proactively assess, adopt, and improve practices that encourage respectful, responsive customer service, both internally and externally. That really supports 3. But it's basically what we were looking at is, what is that? How are we going to collect that information? So first, I think we need to develop some district-wide expectations. Working with Julie and her HR staff, what does it, really define? What does it mean to, give, sort of like Lynn's 48-hour policy. What does it mean, to give good customer service when somebody arrives on our school campuses and things like that. And then develop a feedback system. We talked about, now you go into a lot of restaurants, and after you have your dinner, you get you can get a few free appetizer the next time you come in if you go complete a survey or something. But it's just collecting, valid data around, people that come into one of our departments or school, and collecting that feedback data, and then basically, providing a context for people to be able to analyze that data and develop improvement plans and implement growth plans, and taking a look at that. So that was 4.1 overall.
And that part, I just wanted to highlight it for the thing that what's in there that's important to me was the internally and externally. Because customer service, one of the many things I learned, I guess working at a county office, was in customers are internal as well. And in the end, that's kind of what we were talking about, and you just referenced. We always think about how we reach out to communities and form those partnerships, and then if you're inside employees don't feel like people are responding quickly and well, then you start to get that bad word of mouth. So I wanted to highlight that it's internal and external, and I hope we're thinking that you respond also to teachers, to classified, to administrators inside the district. And I don't know if that.
Well, again, we saw this as internal and external.
Here we go, number 2, feedback.
Right. But 4.1 overall, it stated both internally and externally, so we assumed that permeated all of them.
And hopefully in the development of an action plan, so we're showing that delineation too. Of course, it's just a way we treat people in general, but I wonder if there's internally that might not be external.
Right, or vice versa, and that's where, if you had a online survey that someone could go and complete, they would be able to, indicate are they an employee or are they a parent or a community member, as part of that survey, to be able to differentiate how they're providing service. So, anything else on 4.1? Okay, 4.2. Be proactive in communication using multiple regular methods of communications and engagement to reach all stakeholders. Just so you know, there's not just these 3, it goes over to the next slide also. But basically, we talked about it, Joe talked about the school loop, but it's really taking a look at our web pages and ensuring that we have current information on there that parents find informative. And then also as we're doing this, get feedback on that information. And then, again, continue our monthly good news newsletters at the district level, but also work with sites to, put out, I don't know if monthly, but regular, newsletters and information in multiple languages. And then develop regular channels, communications with parents, community members, and media sources in order to share district activities and successes. Communicate student achievement, again, formative and summative. This goes back to, parents being able to get online and be able to check their student grades, but also any sort of written feedback to parents, around how students are doing on assessments. Establish and maintain regular communication with all employee groups regarding initiatives, expectations, and timelines to support coherence and practice, and that goes back to what Julie said, where, not only she and Lois regularly meeting with association leaderships, but, Rose comes in, Carrie comes in, I meet with them all quarterly, and so just to continue those meetings and discuss the communication practices there. And then, again, going back to the multiple languages, I think that's on some of our website particularly a little bit of a challenge. We need to continue to look at, how are we going to address those needs. And I think for our district, when we say multiple languages, we're basically talking Spanish and English, and then we're appropriate other documents in other languages.
So what on number 4.2, this, and we've set it up as one of our priorities, I think, for the rest of this school year as well, is this idea, and we've talked earlier today about using, electronic communication. What are some of the, issues, because I always hear the issues we have in maintaining and updating websites. Were there thoughts around this in terms of, and we need some creative thoughts, I'm not saying you haven't had it, but we need creative thoughts because we can't just say, let's put X amount of money and hire 3 people, so.
Well, this is around, again, we have 2 distinct things. We have the school websites, and then we have the district website. Like any big organization, the district website was designed, let's go back 10 years. There was a person who, in what is called SAS now, who was very skilled with websites, and it took some doing, it took some development and knowledge. He retired, and his position was not filled. So, 2003 to 2006-07, the same feedback now came from the board then to us saying, this website's out of date. Yes, the person's been gone 3 or 4 years. Flashback to 06-07, we put a new type of technology, which is a little easier, but it still requires a lot of oversight, and our PIO at the time maintained it for 3 years until June of 2009. That position was eliminated. So lo and behold, the very concerns being raised by the community in here is we've got stuff 3 and 4 years old. The PIO is gone. We have people that can technically maintain parts of the site. For example, most departments, fiscal services, SAS, student services, special education, HR do an outstanding job of maintaining their area. But the central core area that was maintained by the PIO is challenging for us. At that time, we chose SharePoint. SharePoint is something that is, for its time, was very collaborative. We're on SharePoint 2007, but it does require somebody to be the overseer, not just somebody with technical knowledge, but somebody with knowledge of all the district in all our goings-on. A person that develops the master calendar, the person that monitors the master calendar and communicates not just with the public, the press, but with the parents as well. We don't have anybody like that here at this time. We have people that can do bits and pieces of it. So we're going to, as Stephen mentioned, make a decision. Do we want to continue with SharePoint as the basis of our website, and maybe pay somebody part-time that has knowledge of SharePoint, that works, maybe somebody that's retired. It could be somebody that's plugged into our district, if you will, to work with me and work with an individual out at Willow Creek to keep the site updated. Those are just little challenges that we're going to have to face. And I think if we make it a priority, I really think even if we stayed with SharePoint, it's not going to be the whiz-bang-bing website that you might see at another school district. But for relatively small amounts of money, in terms of getting rid of old information, in terms of putting, for example, board committee minutes up, things that we deem as an organization as a priority, with very little money, in my opinion, I think we can make it a nicer website and a user-friendly website, and not hiring 3 people, not hiring a developer, but maybe staying with what we have and bringing in somebody part-time.
So does each department have the passwords to go in and update that department's web pages?
Yes.
And there's somebody within that department who can take care of that?
Yes.
I know in a couple of the departments about that.
Well, I'm not sure I necessarily agree. I think we have access to it, but not necessarily the expertise to do it.
Okay.
Personnel is not necessarily.
So we can take a look at
good
the quality.
But you could go in
Or we
and
go in and
do
update it.
something, but yes, I think the expertise is the question. How much can you really do?
Right, so in terms of design, I'm